Hello and welcome to Cryptic Corner. Every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we launch this little segment here, and you all can hang out with me, and we go over what cryptic creatures are creeping around. Well, this one's a creature anyway. It's not always a creature. Sometimes it's a place. Sometimes it's a planet. So you never know. Ancient aliens from to ghost to UFOs, Bigfoot, psychic powers, time travel. We cover it all here in Cryptic Corner. Anything that's weird and unexplained. And yes, I was just talking about sleep paralysis a little bit earlier. Now, today's episode is not going to be connected to sleep paralysis in any way, which is kind of wild. But I think that judging by the engagement that we're getting out there in the side chat, it sounds like we might need to do a Cryptic Corner on sleep paralysis demons. And that's definitely within the wheelhouse because, excuse me, because an argument could be made that a sleep paralysis demon could be subject to tulpomancy, potentially, which we talked about before on Cryptic Corner, and also tangentially maybe related to the concept of machine elves, which we also covered recently. So if you are interested in tulpomancy or machine elves, those are two I don't know, what do you guys want to call them? We need to start categorizing our cryptics, right? So we'll call those brain demons. Somebody take the minutes from the meeting today, and we're going to call those, or not brain demons, mind monsters. Mind monsters. I love it. Mind monsters. So we got tulpas, machine elves, and then we'll add sleep paralysis demons when we cover that. And I might even do that next week. I think I had something else planned, but I will compare and contrast. And if it's not seasonal, I can push it back. Oh, I smeared my makeup on my coffee cup. Dang it. I don't usually wear lipstick on the show, but I was doing the dark eyeshadow, so I'm like, you know what? I'm wearing dark shirt, dark eyeshadow. I need something to make my lips pop, and then a coffee cup. Yep. You can see where it's smeared. Oh well, the show will go on. I'll just look. I just got done making out with somebody. Haven't made out with somebody in a little bit, so we'll just pretend. Yeah, sleep paralysis demons. The hag. Definitely something worth covering. We're gonna do it. But some of these creatures, of course, you could all put up. All of them are mind monsters, but even within the context of sleep paralysis demons, machine elves, and tulpas, they are in world canonically mind monsters. So I think they get a pass for having that title. But again, this is not something that's going to be related to today's topic. So do come back if you'd like to dive into that. I definitely think that's worth some sleuthing. What do you guys, if you guys are in for it, I'm definitely in for it. So today's creature, because it is a creature for today, is, I don't know, I'd say it's something special. It's, well, here's where it starts. Oh, I shouldn't say where it starts, but this is, because there's, of course, with any North American cryptid, right? With any unknown animal in North America, there's always like lore that they will attach to it from First Nation and Native peoples, right? It's just how people are. And this one's no different. This is the shoot, I didn't mean for it to be right over its face here. Hold on. Guess I'll reel that back in for this one. There we go. All right, this is the Ringodocus specimen. You might look at this thing and think, what the heck is that? Is that some kind of dog? Is that a hyena? And you'd be correct to make that kind of a judgment based on this specimen and this image of it. And the thing about this was that they taxidermied this critter, and then the taxidermied specimen was lost. But this is basically the furthest back that I was able to trace a proper lineage of lore for the American hyena. Anything prior to this, anything prior to American hyena lore, American hyena is the name of the cryptid we're looking at tonight, but it's got a few different names depending on where and when you want to apply that. And now most people will connect this sucker to the Shunka Warakin, which is an Iowa creature that would carry off dogs, which, if you look into the lore of it, does come across more as it's hard to explain what the like a wolf, I guess, but not like noble. Like, you know, you most of the time when you see people predicting how the wolves are in native lore, they'll act like the Native Americans were, like presenting them as this majestic, noble creature, when they just they just were part of the environment and just played a role. But the role that the Shunka Warakin played is that it carried off people's dogs. So it may just be a word for a rogue wolf that does, or a lone wolf, maybe one that was rejected or ejected from a pack, or ousted for whatever, and or even generally wolves take care of their wounded and sick, but you know, there are lone wolves out there. It is a thing that happens, and they're not always the healthiest and most efficient hunters of their species due to their solitary status. They will take advantage of livestock more. When a wolf's lone, it will go after livestock and dogs. So, and they didn't have like sheep and stuff. The Native Americans didn't, but they did have dogs, and the wolves would carry them off. But that's what this creature was alleged to be, was this native lore about a creature that carried off dogs. So the name they gave this specimen, however, was Ringodocus, which is a little bit, I don't know, silly, I guess. It's just a weird frontier name, like they had lots of weird frontier names. This could even be put in that category, like fearsome frontier creatures, because it's like a one-of-a-kind specimen with jackalopes and things like that. Yeah, like one-of-a-kind, weird alleged Native Americans. There's also like monopods that hopped around on one leg and things like that. This isn't the weirdest of these creatures. Hoop snakes, the snakes that bite their tail and make a ring and then roll. Which would be an amazing feat of evolution. It would. I would love if hoop snakes existed, but that's just not something that biology has given us just yet. We do have armadillos, though. They roll into balls, and we have isopods. They roll into cute little roly-poly balls. Yeah. So this is a specimen that was shot in Montana. Let me read here. Attestations. According to some accounts, explorer William Clark, not the one from well, maybe it is the one from, holy crap, maybe it is William Clark from Lewis and Clark. I thought it was, they were talking about who shot this creature, when it's like William Clark, and it's a common name, but they're going back a little bit further. So let's read here. According to some accounts, explorer William Clark claimed to have discovered rock art in the Rocky Mountains depicting a giant wolf or giant dog wolf of ferocious appearance and enormous size. A curling, shaggy mane was represented and extended down the back of the animal. In one instance, it was pictured burying a young deer in its jaws, illustrative of its size and strength. In 1995, Lance Foster with told Lauren Coleman that we had a strange animal called Shunka Warakan that snuck into camps at night and stole dogs. It was said to look something like a hyena and cried like a person when they killed it. Its skin was said to be kept by someone still. So there's somebody still has a skin of one of these alleged creatures, but I do think that this is the name literally just means the creature that carries off dogs. I'm not a folklorist, definitely not a Native American folklorist, but you cannot separate this creature, this mythological creature or real creature, whichever, from the American hyena lore when it's post hoc added on to that. So there's no real connection between Shunka Warakan at all, as far as I can tell. If someone else has details where there was a myth that was told, like a story that was told that describes this creature in any way that makes it so that it could not be a lone wolf that has developed the habit of stealing domestic animals, present it to me. I would love to read that legend, but I was not able to find anything in all my years of looking into this, because this is like I always say this with every cryptid we have on here, this is one of my favorite cryptids. But this really is, mostly because hyenas are my favorite. Now, there's things about this that are very unhyena-like. Where to start? I don't know. But let me see here. Physical evidence. Okay, here's the Ringodocus specimen. Okay. Sorry, I was just reading the general hyena part. And well known. Hold on, I need to clear my throat before I start reading this and take a drink. Give me just a second. Hopefully that was all right. A well-known taxiderm, which has often been connected with the Shunka Warakan and American hyena, is the Ringodocus, which was long thought to be lost until it was rediscovered in 2007 with Mark A. Hall, who first referred Lauren Coleman to the Ringodocus, while Lance Foster independently discovered another account of the specimen, which he connected to the Shunka Warakan, a cryptid which Foster had originally brought to cryptozoological attention. As of July 2019, the specimen has never been formally examined. The Ringodocus was shot in 1886 by the grandfather of zoologist Ross Hutchins, who had recently settled in the Madison River Valley of Lower Montana. One morning, Israel Hutchins was aroused by the barking of the dogs. He discovered that a wolf-like beast of dark color was chasing my grandmother's geese. He fired his gun at the animal but missed. It ran off down the river, but several mornings later, it was seen again at about dawn. It was seen several more times at the home ranch as well as other ranches 10 or 15 miles down the valley. Whatever it was a great traveler. One morning in late January, my grandfather was alerted by the dogs and this time was able to kill it. In life, the animal was described as being nearly black and having high shoulders and black back that sloped downward like a hyena. Unlike the Shunka Warakan, it was described as being friendly around dogs. Hutchins donated the specimen to a Sherwood, who had it mounted and displayed in his grocery and museum in Henry Lake, Idaho, where it was labeled a Ringodocus Gaiastaticus, a pre-existing term referring to a fearsome critter, in Rocky Mountain hyena. When Ross Hutchins published the story in 1977, the whereabouts of the Ringodocus were unknown, and it was thought to have been moved to somewhere in the Yellowstone area. In fact, Sherwood had donated it, alongside his other taxiderms, to an Idaho Museum of Natural History, where it was seen by Ray Ellen Moore sometime before 1987. It was later kept in storage until it was tracked down by Jack Kirby in 2007 and consequently loaned to Madison Valley History Museum. A full examination revealed that the Ringodocus measured 48 inches from the tip of its snout to its rump, not including the tail, and stands around 27 to 28 inches high at the shoulders. Its snout was noticeably narrow, and its coat is dark brown, almost black in color, with light tan areas, and including a faint impression of stripes on the flank. Despite its discovery, the Ringodocus has not been formally examined as of July 2019, nor has any of its hair samples been submitted for DNA analysis, partially due to the legal issues concerning which of the two museums has the authority to permit testing. However, in 2012, paleontologist Richard S. White wrote that the Idaho Museum conveyed ownership of the specimen to Kirby, putting responsibility for testing firmly in the Madison Valley Museum's hands. Are you with me still, Hive? I know this has just been one image on the screen. I do have a video coming up here in a second. So I just wanted to cover this history piece first so that so we had a good groundwork. Let's see here. Making sure I got the image for the modern one. Just a second here. There we go. So that's the colorized version, kids. That's how it looks in real life. Now, does it look like it is a black and white image? Give it a quality that it does not have when you see it in person. It's definitely does. I don't know if it's the angle here that they're taking the picture at, but it makes the back look like it slopes down much more prominently than it actually does. Oop, not that one yet. Than it actually does in reality. The high point on its back is actually right here. When you look at the actual specimen, which does match up with other canids, but would not be present in hyenas. As you can see here, got kind of a derpy face and the ears are too small. But this is bad taxidermy, right? This is bad taxidermy. That's my opinion on it. I love bad taxidermy. I'm a member of some Facebook groups that are just sharing bad taxidermy and weird taxidermy and stuff. I love it. It's fun. I do taxidermy myself. I have taxidermy behind me. I have tons of taxidermy in storage. So that I would love to get out of storage soon and have on display. But I digress. I do bug taxidermy and yeah. I have considered doing some bats, though. I do like bats, but I wouldn't get like live bats or catch bats or kill bats, or you could order them on some different services and taxidermy them yourself. I may consider doing that at some time. Let me know if that'd be something you all think this weird girl should do. But yeah, when you look at it in modern times, you can just kind of see that it's a badly taxidermied wolf, and that its coat may not have been healthy. It may have had a skin disease or something that caused it to lose patches of hair, or maybe it's just because it's old. But it looks like it does have those that patchiness in this picture too. Then again, that's the coloration that they describe too. Dark brown and light brown, like mottled look, almost like a brindle color. And this is what they're talking about with stripes here. See these dark lines that come down. But I don't know, because to me it looks like this is undercoat here. All these lighter patches here, to me, and I'm not looking at the specimen. I'm not examining it in real time, but I look at it from different angles. It's a different fur type. I don't think that anybody can argue with me on that. That there's just a different. This lighter color is a different fur type, and I think it looks like the undercoat to me. You know, someone who has always had like huskies and dogs that shed a lot like that. That's what it makes me think of, is when a cold weather dog that'll shed seasonally when it explodes with hair, and what's left afterwards at first is this kind of look. But but yeah, I think the lighter patches look like an undercoat, and I don't know maybe if this animal had recently had a shedding incident. But I digress. Yeah, I see a lot of skin too. That's why I'm thinking that's an undercoat. Like it just shed for its summer coat and hasn't really grown back in yet. Palm uglies, yes, tsunami, like that exactly. But yes, let's now. Why am I bringing up this case from 2007 where they rediscovered this creature? Mostly because of the origins of the legend that we're talking about. Now, this is where we leave the Ringdocus behind, because I think that, in my opinion, it's case closed. This is a badly taxidermied wolf, created a legend. But this image is still cool. I still like this one. But what is this? The last wolf killed in Randolph County. We're talking about the Blue Devil here. Now, this creature, and it's all its lore, 1930s and 40s. A triangle of hills between the town of Jumbo and Grassy Creek in Webster County, West Virginia, is home to the largest cluster of reported sightings of the Blue Devil. These sightings, which occurred in the winter of 1939 through 1940, described a bluish dog-like creature, larger than a pony, that prowled the area late at night and emitted a ghostly howl. According to many in Webster County, I thought it was going to give me a newspaper name. According to many in Webster County, the animal was responsible for the deaths of a growing number of livestock over the period it stalked the land. Eventually, the creature began making appearances in neighboring Randolph County, where the residents joined the Valley Head Rod and Gun Club in offering a reward for its death, totaling $400, which would be over $7,200 today. Anyone interested in trying to catch a glimpse of the Blue Devil may do so by traveling down scenic Grassy Creek Road in Webster County between Jumbo and Grassy Creek. Like many West Virginian counties, Webster County saw a dramatic increase in industrial growth. They're talking about the killing off the wolves. This is a reconstruction that they actually did in 1941 of the last wolf killed in Randolph County, West Virginia. So they've wiped them out about 30 years ago, and then they start seeing this Blue Devil, this big wolf creature. Let's see here. Where was I? Many of the forests in Webster County were area were old growth forests, which is becoming increasingly rare, unfortunately. Meaning that they had largely or been largely undisturbed for well over a century, making them the ideal target for the lumber companies as a result. One of the county's largest and fastest growing industries in the period was the timber industry. And we know that about New England in general, that it used to be expansive forest that you could, what did they say, like a squirrel could travel from Maine to Illinois without touching the ground. That'd be a world that we'll never get to see. As with many cases of cryptid sightings, economic insecurity fueled individual uncertainties and overactive imaginations, and the Blue Devil was born. One of the first reported sightings of the Blue Devil was by Jumbo resident John Clevenger, a former lumber company employee, then farmer, who claimed in December of 1939 that his much valued hunting dog had been attacked and killed by the beast. Another farmer, Ernest Coger, reported that his livestock had been spooked for several nights by some wild animal, attacked and killed cattle and sheep. Mr. V.S. Cunliffe, meanwhile, reported hearing a wild, inhuman scream outside her home in Diana, a few miles from Jumbo, and H.A. Anderson heard something in Hacker Valley that sounded like a panther. I wonder if this creature is not a mountain lion, because they were still around in the 1930s in West Virginia, I do believe. So the screaming could very well be a mountain lion, which they're extinct now. Eastern cougars went extinct, or were declared extinct officially in like 2017. It's sad, but yeah, some people, there's still sightings of them, obviously, and here I'm not really in the east too much. I'm in the westernmost east. I think I might be as far west as you can go and still be in the east. The city I live in just happens to fall in that location, because if the Mississippi's the border, right? But we get western cougars out here traveling, mostly down from Canada, in from the Rockies and stuff. But they wander far and wide when they're young, looking for their own territories, and sometimes they make it this far. Not often, though. Newspapers throughout the state, particularly the state capital of Charleston, reported on a rising panic in Webster County area with considerable amusement. When the sighting spread to Randolph County in January of 1940, the Charleston Gazette reprinted the story from the Elkin Intermountain, calling the beast a varmint and wishing it might represent proof positive that panthers still stalked the West Virginian heartland. So maybe they did think that panthers were wiped out in West Virginia at this time. I thought they were still around in the 1940s. My mistake. Other particularly locals in Webster and Randolph County, however, were less cynical, and many took part in the growing search for whatever was killing their livestock. Several claimed to have killed the beast, some seeking to collect the reward offered by the Valley Head Rod and Gun Club. The first, Glenn Fisher and Bill Fisher Hollow, that's funny. Glenn Fisher of Bill Fisher Hollow. So I'm wondering if the Hollow is not named after his family. Then I imagine it probably is. Reported before the reward was offered that he had shot and killed the animal in December of 1939, but his body had vanished before he could inspect it in the morning. Another coal miner, Elmer Coltley, killed something that Webster County Game Protector C.T. Whitaker characterized as a coyote, but resembling one. That's peculiar. After collecting the reward, Corley assured area residents that the Blue Devil was dead, and no further reports were issued regarding the beast to belie the claim. The following year, Webster Republic published a story detailing similar county-wide hunts 4 decades earlier. In 1897, the residents of Webster County had participated in the search for what the paper claimed was the last known gray wolf in West Virginia. On one night in January of 1895, it recounts the wolf had killed 27 lambs belonging to Jacob Hamrick in Randolph County. Shortly thereafter, the county courts of Randolph and Webster had offered a $100 reward, a little over $3,000 in today's currency. Then on New Year's Eve in 1897, the wolf was killed. The wolf had killed 5 more sheep at Jacob. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice again. Dang it. Can't seem to keep my voice around for more than a couple weeks these days. The wolf had killed 5 more sheep at John Hamrick's farm near Whitaker Falls. Banding together, Hamrick and his neighbors set off to hunt the animal in 2 feet of snow. 20 feet of snow would be more impressive. Stalking it over the course of several days before they finally brought it down. Publishing this account as they did just a short while after the Blue Devil sighting ended in 1940. The Webster Republican no doubt hoped the readers would come to the same conclusion it had, that the devil was just one more wild beast like the last gray wolf in West Virginia. Nothing supernatural to it, and the Republican might have dismissed the devil. Others haven't in any way interested in sightings. It may hunt for it between the roads, between Jumbo and Grassy Creek. Yeah. So that's the legend of the Blue Devil. And why is this important? It sounds like it's just more wolf lore, right? More wolf lore that we have from, like we had with the Shunkawarockin and all that good stuff, right? But this gets a little deeper. We're not... Oh, Linda. Yeah, let me restart. Where were we? I gotta go all the way back to Ringadocus. All right, so... Yeah, why is this relevant? Hold on just a second. This is just... Gotta respond to this. Come on. If I change my lashes, my phone stops recognizing me, depending on which lashes I'm wearing. It's kind of annoying. Oh, there we go. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Let's let that sit there. Okay. That way if he responds, I'll see it. You don't have to pull it. All right. So, yeah, just more wolf lore, local wolf lore, whatever. I did a reenactment of it. Cute. But last spring, this started showing up everywhere. We're gonna watch and listen. So it's only the first segment of this. This person does like all kinds of trail cam and footage and stuff like that. But for this one, we're just going to let me switch it to the big screen. Just a second here. There we are. There we go. All right. Just turning the volume up a little bit.
In this capture, we see the bizarre body of a deceased canine that a man is holding up, and it does not appear to be anything native to the area where it was killed, which just so happens to be the great state of West Virginia, home to the Appalachian Mountains. The picture was taken in a small community known as Elkins, home to a little over 6,800 people. The original post was captioned, "Billy Speck killed this wolf, Hyena, in the mountain behind his house." And the unknown creature does seem to be on par with a wolf-hyena hybrid. What's it doing in the...
What would a wolf-hyena hybrid look like? Let's discuss that, because similarities between wolves and hyena are not synapomorphies. They are convergence. They're convergent characteristics for a ecological niche, and it's not unique to these two species either. There are other clades that throughout history have filled this niche and developed these characteristics in order to be cursorial pursuit predators. So a pursuit predator body type is built for long distance endurance. The relation between hyena and wolf is simply that they fill the same niche in their environment. They cannot breed. They are not closely related. Hyenas belong to the Feliformia family, or not family, but they, what is it, suborder or superorder? Anyway, Feliformia and Caeniformia is the big split between carnivores. So on one side you'll have the Feliformia, which is hyenas, obviously, and cats, feline, get it. Also big cats too. What we call civets, which are sort of like, well, there are civets that fill a niche similar to what Procyon fill in South America, like raccoons and stuff. So those are there's always this balance with the two clades, right? Like for big cats, you have bears. For Caeniform, you have bears. For Feliform, you have big cats. For the cursorial predator, you have canids and you have hyenids. And then for small rodent predators, you have mustelids, which is like weasels and stuff on one side, on canids, and then mongooses on the other. So you kind of get the idea. There's always this divide, but they fill the same niche and sort of, to some extent, follow similar body plans for the role that they play, whether it's apex predator, ambush predator, pursuit predator, whatever you have. But hyenas and wolves cannot breed together, cannot hybridize in any way.
State of West Virginia. Billy Speck, presumably an Elkins local, shot this creature in his backyard after spotting it at dark. The creature he shot looks similar to that of a prehistoric animal, such as a prehistoric wolf known as the dire wolf. Perhaps.
Well, so a dire wolf too is not necessarily it's not like just a giant scaled up wolf. It definitely wouldn't look like a hyena. It probably, some of the paleo art I've seen of it make it look like a big doll, and that's based on just on because we have a lot of dire wolf remains from like La Brea and stuff, so we know a lot about their physiology, right? And we're actually able to trace their closest relatives to being something more like a doll than a canis. A doll is they are a group of canids that live in Asia, and they're smaller than wolves, but they live in bigger packs. They're they're somewhat similar to the painted dogs of Africa in their social structure, but we'll have to cover that in more detail at some other point. But dire wolves, obviously they died out in North America I want to say between 12 and 8,000 years ago.
Perhaps there's some that may have survived extinction altogether. But who knows, maybe it's a native crossbreed that no one's discovered up until now. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below.
All right, so that's it for that section. It's just the first minute and a half of it is the animal. But don't worry, because we're going to look at the pictures in more detail. Because this became a thing, and I kind of like put it in a file, to say if I can get enough hyena sighting things. But I just want to cover it. North American hyenas is such a weird topic, so let's talk about Billy Speck's hyena. Billy Speck killed this wolf hyena in the mountains behind his house in Elkins, Virginia. Okay, this is presumably Billy Speck, right? And this is the beast that he brought down. So what do we see? We see pointed ears, long pointed ears. It kind of seems like it has maybe a little bit of a mane. The coat seems brindle. There's stripes. The legs are striped, though. The legs are definitely striped. So there's three out of the 4 living species of hyena are striped, right? They're not, the spotted hyena is kind of the outgroup. And that's the big boy. That's the one you have to watch out for. Not that you should be given striped hyenas and brown hyenas any quarter, because they will take you down if they see an opportunity as well. I don't think you have to worry about an aardwolf at all because they are insectivores and are not a threat to humans. But the stripe, so that leaves us with the striped hyena and the brown hyena. And let me see. Just a second. I want to pull up a comparison. Sorry, just wanted to get these comparisons pulled up here. Here we go. Okay, so this one's the striped or the spotted hyena, so we can nip that out right there. Okay, that one's not going to be relative to Billy's. This is a striped hyena. This is the aardwolf too. This thing's tiny, so it would not be the culprit either. So it's either going to be, we're talking about hyenas. It's going to be that or this. Let's go back and look at it. There's some more pictures of it too. Let's see. Look at that. Oh, I didn't mean to close it. Come on, Billy Speck. There we go. You got that one. And that one. Look how big those paws are. It's a massive creature, right? And you see he shot it. Pointed ears. So my intuition is telling me this is a brown hyena. To me, it looks like this is our culprit up here. What do you guys think? Looks like a brown hyena, huh? Because it has stripes, but they're really only defined on the legs, which I get right here. Striped hyena is also, the base color is more of a cream or white, whereas the brown hyena is, as its name says, a brown, which I think also is prevalent here. But what the heck? Brown hyena, striped hyena, it doesn't really matter, because what the heck is it doing in West Virginia? What is this monstrous animal doing roaming a mountainside in West Virginia? So that this video popped up in my feed and reminded me that I wanted to do this. So here we are. All right, so let's do some investigation, kids. Are you ready? All right, first and foremost, Billy Speck. Billy Speck, who I've looked up and investigated. I can't find anything about him other than just people claiming that's who this gentleman is, right? No further details. Videos like this never pop up in your feed, Maya. You're not subscribed to the right channels. Yeah, some people do say it was a wolf or a escaped hyena, but we're going to explore deeper. Bree's going to help us out. So in the first picture, let's look for clues. Clues! All right, so first of all, we don't get a lot of clue about the area that we're in. Billy's wearing some, looks like camo slacks. Blue t-shirt. He's wearing a hat, but we can't really see much in this picture. The picture that showed up in the video, right? This one. You can't really see his hat in that one, but you can see a little bit of his hat in that one down there. But let's finish looking at this one real quick. Okay, see some green grass back there, so makes me think that it's not like the winter. I know there's no claim about what season this took place in. So it doesn't really matter, but we know that it's wherever it is, it's not in a winter cycle of the season. Billy's wearing long sleeves, so I'm guessing it may not be too warm, but you can wear long sleeves when it's hot too if you're trying to keep yourself from bugs or if you're going to be walking through bramble and stuff. Long sleeves are great to keep you from getting all cut out. But here, in these pictures, we do get some more hints. Okay, first of all, he's wearing a different vest here, probably his hunting vest. The creature's head's popped up like a stick in typical trophy hunting fashion. Billy is laid back behind it in order to make it look bigger. You can get an idea of the size right there, though. Showing how big its mouth is, how wicked its teeth are, and how massive its paws are. There's nothing in these images here that give us any indication of the location, right? Just how it gives us a good indication how big this is. I, at this point, looking at these images, have no doubt that this is a brown hyena. However, I do doubt that it is shot in West Virginia. So what do we have here is, and I've zoomed in on this, but let me see, open image, new tab. This hat says MANGWA. But the G is distorted by some sort of shape that looks like it might be the continent of Africa. Why is the guy wearing a hat with the continent of Africa in West Virginia while hunting hyena on his back lot? Yeah, that's kind of interesting, huh? Yeah, so let's see how this plays out. I think there's some more images in this slide. Yeah, here's another image with another set of hands. This isn't Billy because this person is clearly black. Looking at the animal's teeth. There's the paw again. This time we get a different story with it. So, yeah, interesting that this one would have a completely different story attached to it. A little bit of research goes a long way. Beauties and bees, and the person who does these videos needs to learn that, because this isn't like a cryptic channel or anything. I mean, if you look at the rest of them, they're just like the mountain lion in the hallway stuff that's real, right? Maybe the jackalope's a little silly, but I think this video is is maybe poorly researched, right? I mean, I'm not, and again, this is a channel I subscribe to, right? Not on this account, but on one of my animal accounts, because they have animal footage. But yeah, disappointed that they couldn't do the minimum research to see, hey, there's more than one picture in the set. Hey, this one we see a hat with a symbol on it. Let's zoom in on that hat. Hey, maybe if we Google hyena and the name of this place, we'll get a hunting thread. Oh, a hunting thread that tells us what this is. Oh, look, it does. It says, if you type in Mengwa and hyena, it'll tell you about, where was it? About Mengwa hunting safari with these pictures in South Africa. Hey, well, but this is Billy Speck, right? I mean, surely Billy Speck is fictional. Yeah, Billy Speck is not a real person, and I explain that down here in my comments. All right, circle around, everyone. And I went out to Facebook. I'm not going to show the guy's Facebook page, but he uses this as his image. He's very proud of this hunt. So it's not like it's being kept under wraps or anything. It's just no research is what's keeping this circulated. I said, all right, gather around, everyone. The animal you see in this video is a brown hyena, H. brunei, shot in South Africa by James Rayleigh, consultant at Mengwa Hunting Safari in April of 2022. This could be sourced to his personal Facebook page and was also shared among a myriad of hunting forums. There are a series of photos that accompany this, while they do not give away the location. The Mengwa hat is certainly telling. As previously mentioned, hyenas are feliforms and wolves are caniforms. It would have better reproductive odds with your house cat. So to be clear, not a wolf-hyena hybrid, and certainly not in North America. If you want to watch me break down more nonsense like this, subscribe to the Hive, because I gotta always be closing, right? ABC. Come join the Hive, because we debunk the crap out of nonsense like this. If you like this, if you like seeing Bree take down ridiculousness like this, where people just don't do their research, or where there's actually some intrigue, or sometimes where it's a full-on hoax, doesn't matter. We are going to crack it wide open here in Cryptic Corner and try to do our best to sort out what we're actually looking at in these videos and images. Got just the rest of what I had for this is just anecdotal stories, but I think this has been a good run for Cryptic Corner. If we revisit hyenas in North America again, it'll only be via, unless some new images come out, it'll only be via anecdotal tales of people seeing something on the side of the road that they think is a hyena. But as we all know, the average person is not going to be real good at assessing what a hyena actually looks like, or what a bear looks like, or what a wolf looks like. So this was not a hoax necessarily, Sandy. This is more of, well, I guess maybe somebody originally took this picture and said, hey, this is in Elkins, West Virginia, as a troll. But it really did take on a life of its own in the spring of last year, and I was hoping for more information to come out about it publicly, but no one ever. It just disappeared, as they do, instead of someone actually pulling this up. So I looked, and there's like no videos saying, hey, this is not a hyena, or I'm sorry, this is not a hyena shot in West Virginia. Yeah, there's no There's no video out there saying, hey, this hyena was actually not shot in West Virginia, but was shot on a safari in South Africa. And I do wonder with how the hat's cut off in this one that they choose to share so much. Is part of the reason they picked this one instead of that one. Because this one, the animal definitely looks more intimidating, right? It definitely looks like it's ready to rumble here, where he's got it, making it look like way bigger, like its head's 3 times the size of his head, which is not. I mean, again, you can look at this picture here. I mean, the head's even forced perspective here because it's turned towards the camera to make it look a little bit bulkier. But and not to say brown hyenas aren't big; they can get massive. These guys hunt seals and stuff too. It's they're a unique. That's their unique take. And when I think of brown hyenas, that's what I mainly think of, is that they hunt along the South African coast and hunt seal pups and hunt seals, which is an interesting niche that they've carved out for themselves there. Yeah, so anyway, that's been every freaking time, I swear. That's been Cryptic Corner for tonight. I hope that you all enjoyed that. If you disagree with me about any of this, if you think maybe Billy Speck is a real person and this South African hunter is the fraud, I welcome information. I've seen Mr. Saylor's Facebook page, though. I know he's a real person. I know he looks like this, so it'd have to be somebody doing Photoshop on the face and things like that to make it look like it was him, if this was actually this alleged Billy Speck person. So, thank you for joining us in Cryptic Corner. Please like, subscribe, share, please. And we will see you next week.